Well, thanks for visiting us this morning at ktalnews.com as well as your Weather Authority app. I'm meteorologist Josh Marces. This is your Thursday morning forecast update. Feeling pretty nice again this morning. Your temperatures have dropped into the low 70s and very hot first day of fall here. We do have some weather changes on the way, though. Next week we're looking at some pleasant weather, so I'll have an update on that. Of course, the heat today, and we're still monitoring the potential for maybe a tropical storm or a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico at some point next week. So I'll have all those updates over the next minute or two here. Your temperatures today winding up in the upper 90s. We do have a few locations actually reaching about 100 degrees today. We have a weak front that will actually come through a little bit later, and on these days ahead of a front, even if it's a weak one, you get what is called kind of compressional warming. That air kind of bunching up out ahead of that front here will likely warm our temperatures a few extra degrees today. That's why I think we'll see a few locations maybe close to 100 or so. Still have high pressure in control, but you'll notice this ridge of high pressure continuing to move to the west. It is buckling a bit, and that's what's going to let this front come through later today. It's going to be a dry front. We really need the rainfall here, and you can see there's a lot of rain to the north of the Arklatex. We've got some storms down in the Gulf of Mexico as well, but we're likely sitting in an area that will stay dry today. You can see our dry cold front that will be moving in a little bit later, which will actually drop our humidity, so we'll see some pleasant temperatures later tonight. A little bit of a cool down for Friday, but overall staying pretty toasty here through Sunday. So look at Futurecast again today, likely going to see those mostly sunny conditions. Given the presence of the front, we'll likely see a few clouds billow up this afternoon, and Futurecast does show maybe a little bit of rain north of I-30, but I wasn't impressed enough to just leave any kind of rain chances in. I think we're just too dry to see any rainfall today. There's your lows tonight, so it should be a touch cooler following the frontal passage, as we'll see the dew point or the humidity drop off just a bit behind the front, so that's what will allow our temperatures to dip into the 60s tonight. And your tropical update as the National Hurricane Center continues to watch a tropical wave that is out in the Caribbean. You can see the area in red here. That's the wave that we're watching. High chance of development. They're up to about a 90% chance of development into a named system here. And as far as the track where this may be headed, we'll show you the spaghetti model. Again, each one of these lines indicates one of the forecast models and where it thinks that this storm may be going, and you can see by next Monday or Tuesday, it's basically located here between the Yucatan and Cuba. A lot of the models kind of take it up here into the eastern Gulf of Mexico, but we still think there's a chance it could wind up further west than anticipated. Bottom line here, this would not affect the Gulf until maybe late next week, so we're still talking about something that's a good 8 days out or so, and it's not until we get within that 5-day window that we start to have any confidence in where this may be headed, and then specific kind of coastal impacts or a location where this storm might make landfall. We probably won't know that until a day or two before. So I just urge everybody, especially if you have some travel plans next week, or if you have some things going on, especially late next week and next weekend, just kind of keep an eye on the forecast here in the upcoming days. Very well could have a hurricane at some point in the Gulf of Mexico next week. Very dry for us. We'll stay in the 90s through the weekend. Again, we still have that slight chance of rain in the forecast on Sunday. It would be during the day and as well as Sunday night. And behind that front, we get some nice fall air back, as your highs will be in the mid-80s for much of next week. And should have a secondary front that comes through maybe Tuesday and Wednesday, and you can see that one will plunge our lows into the 50s and give us some great weather for the middle of next week. And then the question is, where's that system in the Gulf of Mexico headed late next week?